And we've had the conversations today about which to do, and we've decided that we're going to just go with CC, this mod, and require everybody to upgrade from, if they have CS6, to upgrade to CC. Now, so everybody who has CS6, can you, tell me again? Well, Lydell, the announcement was posted. Can you check your email? I need to make sure that everybody who has CS6 has the announcement. Yeah, it's in the announcements. You should have received an email, and it's also in the announcements. So if you have any concerns about upgrading, let me know, and you should download the file. Yeah, it depends on your speed. And so you need to have a pretty fast connection. I think it's a pretty good size download. But it's pretty smart when it downloads. So, yeah, I had a pretty fast connection, so make sure you start working on getting that upgraded. That I was hoping everybody could get that. Okay, now here's the next question. Francis, I see your email, or I see your message there. Oh, first of all, let me talk to Lydell. Lydell, you need to make sure that that the emails are not going to your junk mail, number one, and number two, make sure that you're just make sure you've got the right email in under your profile. So Lydell, you need to make sure you're getting emails every day that they get posted. The next thing is, yeah, make sure that's on your profile. Okay, here's the next thing that we were discussing today. And one is we were discussing, okay, so we decided to go with, I've been discussing with the administration, actually, and we've decided to go forward with everybody upgrading to CC. But the next topic of the question was the textbook, and Francis has been asking now about the textbook, and so they had two opportunities, and yeah, I'll go ahead and turn on the recorder. Hold on a sec. I'm going to be posting a link to the video. I'll be uploading this to YouTube, and then I'll also post it to, I'll upload the file and I'll also post it to YouTube. But if you also need to record, let me know, and I can make sure you have that ability to record. Okay, Barbara, coming. Okay, Barbara. Is that Barbara Milam? Is that right? Yeah.
It's Barbara Milam.
Okay, Barbara Milam, for some reason you don't have the option to record. What does that mean, that your computer doesn't allow recording? I'm trying to give you that option, Barbara, and it's not coming up. Barbara, are you okay to download it once I've uploaded it? Because I will be providing Oh, okay.
I am not going to be able. I am not going to be able to get into the lectures that you record because my computers will not let me. But if I record it myself, I can watch it. I'm trying to get into my other computer right now to be able to come into the lecture.
Okay. And I'd like to sometime help you access the posted recordings because I'm pretty sure I can figure out what's wrong with your computer. But we can do that after you've got this all sorted out. Okay. So.
Well, it's all because of my internet. My internet is real slow too. That's another reason why.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, Lydell, go ahead. You've got the green light. So is there anybody else who requested to record that doesn't have it? If you do, if somebody else requested and I missed it, please re-request it. And okay, so back to the topic of textbook. And so in our discussions today, I was asked that if I wanted to get another textbook for Adobe Flash CC and post that. And then another proposal came on the table, and that is to use the materials that Adobe is publishing on their website. And I posted a link on that. So that was the other alternative. So, Francis, the question then became: should we use the resources for that are online available with the videos, or should we do a textbook? And what I'd like to do is have everybody vote which they would like to do, a textbook or just because it's important for me to get the feedback from everybody because I didn't really know which we should do, whether textbook or an online. Looks like it's fairly consistent that people want textbook. So I'll let yeah, not a paper textbook, just a PDF file. All right, what I'll do is during our break, I'll write a little, yeah, it's either the online, to use online resources or to have a textbook. And I posted a link on that. Let me see if I can bring it up here. There's an announcement on it. It says, it's the announcement that says, I've been approved to use the online content for Adobe Flash. Here's a link to what we will use for Adobe Flash CC. And here, I'll grab the link again for everybody. By the way, I was reviewing this content. And yes, Brandon, it would be different. The textbook goes in one direction and the website goes in a different direction. So what I'm going to do is see the online, they aren't coordinated. The textbook is not coordinated with the online. If you click on that link, yes, Eric, if you look In fact, everybody should spend just a minute now looking over that website. There are short videos which are slowly progressing, and I think it's excellent material. And what I'm kind of thinking is to I was thinking of using the daily checkpoints to use that content for daily checkpoints and rewrite our daily checkpoints are a little bit out of date. They are CS5. So so I thought the CS5 text mode, they're just out of date. So Lydell, where's the link where it says it wants me to buy the book? What link is that you're looking at? I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see. This is the link that, can everybody see my screen? Okay, good. So this is the link. Right here is the announcement. If you click right there, it goes to this link. So this was the online content, and it really is excellent because it's short. And right here we have the files, sample files, and you get the PDF, and it's the Flash Professional cheat sheet. Once again, you come here and then click here. And oops, I think that this was the first assignment. So here's the link. And so this is the online website that Adobe's put together. And it has this 1-minute tour here. Then click here and it's learn the essentials. And let's go back to the get started before we go there. And right here, these are all links. If you mouse over, you can see this is a 5-minute video, 4-minute video, 6, 5, and then here is like a little project right there. This is a 38-minute project. So I'll tell you what I was proposing to the administration today was that this could become our week 1 content here. And then I was proposing to them that when you click on the Learn Essentials, that this here could become, these 2 sections here could be our week 2 focus. And then these 2 sections here could be our week 3 focus. And then week 4, we could do our own project. And then I proposed that we could have the textbook only as a resource, like not that it wouldn't be the focus of the class, but it would be a secondary resource. So that's what I proposed just this afternoon as we were discussing with the administration, and I haven't heard back yet from the powers to be, if you will. So, yeah, Kim, I agree. The idea of using, I was thinking of breaking down each of those so that our daily checkpoints would use that online content, and that would allow you to, throughout every day, be getting some of the content, just little bits of it. And that way it's not like, because right now the daily checkpoints are written for CS5, which is 2 versions ago. So I kind of wanted to get those caught up to current content with the CC, and then do it on a little bit of a daily basis. All right, give me a second while I scroll up and read the comments. I'm curious if on my screen right now, do you see that I'm looking at the comments? I'm just curious, is this not shown? Oh, interesting, because I've got your comments on the screen right now, and apparently that window is not, you don't see that. Give me a second while I read through, make sure I didn't miss anything. By the way, I wanted to introduce to everybody. Christy, can you turn on your microphone?
Yep, I sure can.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Hey, everybody. Christy, please allow me to boast about you for just a minute.
Okay.
Christy was one of my students, and top student, and very, very thorough and very precise and very detail oriented. Do you think those adjectives describe you, Christy?
Probably. I'm pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to class. Go ahead and take the floor for a little bit.
Well, I'm happy to be here, guys. I think I've worked with quite a bit of you. Kind of been following you through the courses. If there's anything I can do to help you guys, I know what it's like to be an online student with all the challenges and life going on. So, let me know. You've probably seen in my introduction, besides doing the learning coach thing, I also have a couple of businesses. I'm a photographer and a designer. I love learning new things. I'm anxious to see the changes in Creative Cloud. If I can talk, a little stumble over those words. Creative Cloud Flash, how it's different from CS5 and CS6. So I'm kind of looking forward to learning a little bit more alongside you guys too. So, but whatever I can do to help you, if you have questions or anything, shoot me an email, a Skype, a phone call. I try and check my email often. If I'm available, I'll answer Skype, even when I'm not on. So, if you guys have a question, I'm usually pretty good at finding the answers. So, any questions for me? Then, Melissa, let me know. Let me know ahead of time when you need help, and I can probably get permission to use my Zoom room to meet with you. We can also, if you're on Skype, we can share screens that way, and that might work. We'll figure out something.
Hey, Eric, her contact info is in the announcements. If you click on announcement, she posted an announcement and it's right there. Plus, there's a link in the announcement that she posted to go right to the Learning Success Center. Eric, does that answer your question? Hey, Lydell, go to the announcements. Scroll through the announcements. Every time I post an announcement, you get an email. Go check out the announcement, Lydell. Okay, thank you very much, Christy. Christy's awesome, and I really would like everybody, especially here with Flash, I'd like everybody to spend some time if you ever get stuck, just go to the Learning Success Center, Student Success Center, and talk with Christy. One thing I need everybody to understand is as we get it more advanced into the web development, and this is an example of one of those classes, You need to be a little bit careful about expecting to be able to just drop in on the Student Success Center and expect somebody there to be good at Flash development and becoming disappointed because you go there and it's not a time when Chrissy's not, it's a time when Chrissy's not there, and you go there expecting assistance and expecting the Student Success Center to just have someone on staff always and to be able to help you. So just be a little bit careful about setting your expectations. I really want you to to be selective, because not everybody, I get emails sometimes from tutors that say, it's been so long, I tried to help them, but I couldn't. So it always is sad to hear that that some students have shown up when they outside the hours of our TA, of our student success learning. See, what do you call it? It's a learning. I can't remember what your official title is now. Learning
coach.
There we go. It changes. Okay, yeah. Lori is excellent. Misty's excellent. Okay, so let's move on. Now, before we move on, are there any questions that have been asked that have not yet been answered? If I've missed anything, please repost your question right here, because there's so many people in the class, and there are a lot of questions that hi Janice, that I don't want anybody to be passed up. Okay, so number one, we've made it clear that Adobe CC is what we're going to be using, Adobe Flash CC. And number two, I'm proposing to them that we use the online content as the primary content for our assignments and lecture content, and the textbooks as a secondary a resource, like a lookup resource. Can you guys give me one more feedback on that, whether you like that proposal and that model? Primary would be online, and Christy, go ahead and weigh in. And secondary would be the PDF. Primary online. Okay, that's good. Good so far. Okay, Melissa's a no. Sherry's a no. Okay, Alana's a no. Janice, we're asking the question about the content of the course, which would be preferable. Yeah, downloadable PDF. I'm pretty sure that's how I would get it, because that's how I got it from last mod. Oh yeah, CC, Adobe Flash CC, this mod. Everybody needs to upgrade. Last mod, Adobe CC, Flash CC was used for this class. Okay, so Norma, you're not supposed to be checking anything right now, Norma. You're good. We're just, if you have CS6, possibility, Lydell. it's possible. You can always try to update it. So Norma, you don't need to check anything. Just make sure that if you're using CS6 that you upgrade to CC, and I posted an announcement on that. Sometimes, Lydell, sometimes the software allows you to update it from within the software. So those people who don't like the online content, oh yeah, that's right, Sherry. And those of you who are more inclined towards the textbook, can you just give me one more? The main reason, is it because you learn better with textbook, or because it's video related? I just need a little bit more information to feedback to make sure I need to have the proper feedback. Okay, so 2 slow internet issues, and then 2 learn better issues. Yeah, isn't this interesting? You know, some people learn better with video and other people learn better with textbooks. Yeah, this is really interesting. You know, we're kind of at that point with technology that you kind of have to ask yourself which is better for me. And frankly, people learn differently. Some people have different ways of learning. You know, some people are those who use their eyes and the text, and that's actually a model, a medium that really works for them to learn. Other people need to watch it demonstrated, and that's how they learn. And then other people need to hear it, and that's how they learn. And then other people have to do it, and that's how they learn. And so we're kind of dealing with all the different models of learning here. Yeah, definitely online is continuously updated. Melissa, I'm actually advocating a model for both, but it's really the primary secondary that I was asking about. I really like the primary, using the daily checkpoints, doing the online stuff with daily checkpoints, but that really is good. But again, the primary secondary thing is what I am focused on right now. Right now, the daily checkpoint content is CS5, and then the quizzes right now are CS6. So I'm going to be working tonight to update everything for this week. Because CS5, I'm going to update the daily checkpoints, given that we've gotten the go-ahead to work with online. And then I'm going to update the what do you call it? The assessments and the assignments. No, go ahead. You know, they're pretty straightforward. In fact, we can actually go over today's daily checkpoint. It will count today. Everything's going to count. I think I'll start tomorrow with CC. Why don't we do that really quickly? Let's do the daily checkpoint together. Now, I don't want anybody to just blurt out the answer. Just don't type the answer. But let's go over it really quickly. Just make sure everybody is okay with the wording and they get it. Can you see my screen okay? Okay, good. All right, let's do the daily checkpoint for today. Again, keep your answer to yourself. Just want to make sure that nobody is feeling like they are being broadsided. See, that's the bug that somebody told me about. See, this is out of date. PDF excerpt link. Somebody wrote me about that. I can't remember who that was. Thanks. I see what you mean now. All right, so this is really the text right here. And there's the question. One of the limitations of Flash is that you cannot open multiple files at the same time in the development environment. Once again, first of all, is there anybody who does not understand this question? Let's first go to the question. One of the limitations of Flash is that you cannot open multiple files at the same time in the development environment. Is there anybody who does not understand that question? Okay, now let's do this. I'm going to do a Command F and type in multiple files. Let me see. Let me search for something else. Documents. All right. So we just viewed the daily checkpoint. Is there anybody who is concerned that they won't be able to answer it? Is everybody good? We're good on that? Okay. Good. All right. Yeah, it's pretty easy. All right. So let's not worry. I won't worry about making this one like CC today, but I'll make sure I do tomorrow's. Now, I don't want anybody to try to go ahead I currently don't have the deadlines marked on these, but right now you could, if you wanted, just go do tomorrow's and the next day's because I just haven't put the deadline dates on it and availability. So don't go forward and just answer all of them, because I'll be resetting your answer anyway if you go ahead and do tomorrow's or the next days because right now they're still open. Okay, so we're good on that. And now let's go back to any questions? Good. We're good. Okay. All right. Now let's proceed. Let's move on. And we've gone over the announcements that, in fact, why don't I really quickly, everybody should have received this email this morning. And this is my personal email to you, beginning of the course. And throughout here, I have several links that are helpful to download apps, to join Facebook groups. Here, if you want to add me in LinkedIn, you can do that. Right here, if you want to use Dropbox, that's the link that I recommend. If you do that, you actually help me to get more space for our class, 500 megabytes when you click on this link and download Dropbox. But you can use whatever backup method you need. I would like everybody to have a backup method for their work. And so right here is the link, or up here is the link, and I'd like everybody to fill this out. This helps me get a good feel for this little survey at the beginning of the class. It helps me get a good feel for you if you have any special needs, and this is a good way for individuals to answer and let me know some of their special needs. So make sure you fill that out. Okay, so that's that was the first announcement that you should have received a copy of earlier this morning. And then the other announcement here is we went over that one. And then here's the announcement for downloading. All you do is click on this link, type in IU download and software. I'll do it really quickly. Make sure you do lowercase on the software. Lowercase, not uppercase, lowercase. And then if you have PC, you can download it here. If you have a Mac, you can download it here. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, we're good on that. Okay, good. By the way, while I'm thinking of it, Sharon, this is DES 246, Adobe Flash. Oops. By the way, Melissa, you don't have to uninstall CS6. Frankly, I left mine on. I've got both CS6 and CC on. Some individuals have recommended you uninstall CS6, but I didn't do that. Yeah, some people have been told to, but I didn't do it. I was just going to say, I'm going to download both. So, and I needed to have both because I was teaching both last mod, for example. Bye, Sharon. So can everybody type in really quickly, what is the backup method they use? What is the backup method you use? And if you have none, just type in none. That's fine. It's actually not fine, but I won't be upset. If you don't have a backup system, I really want everybody. Okay, Janice and Alana, both you, we need to talk. Janice and Alana, I must help you have a backup method, whether it's a thumb drive or an external hard drive or an automated backup system. I really want everybody to have that, okay? So make sure you message me either during the break or I can help you during the break. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, very good. Let's move on to the next announcement. This was the one that Misty was last mod, so sorry about that. That was a little, Misty was my, anyway, here's Christy's announcement. If you want to visit her, you can click right here and log in to the Student Success Center. Just click right there. This is when she's there, and so on. Christy, do you want to say anything else? I know you couldn't stay for the whole time, so go ahead, Christy. Turn on your mic and.
Just don't hesitate to contact me if you have problems. If I don't know the answer, I'm really good at searching for it and getting an answer for you. If you come in, I coach writing too, so if you come in and there's a lot of people in there, which a lot of times there are, and you just have a quick question, or you just want me to look at something, or you know that maybe I'm going to need to research it a little bit, just put in the chat window that you're going to send me an email, and if it's a simple question, I can probably find it out and send you an email back. If not, just be patient with me. I get to people as soon as I can. Also know that if you don't want to show your work in front of everybody in my coaching room, just say, hey, Christy, I want a private room. Or if you need to talk to me, if you have questions and you don't want everybody listening in, tell me you need a private room, and I will put you in a private room. That's not a problem for me either. If you want to come out and come in and just work while you're in my room, and you just want to hang out and see what other people have and just hang out while I work, that's fine too. I encourage people to spend as much time in there as they need to. And again, if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to tell you I know the answer. I'm going to find it for you, okay? Or find somebody that I think can help you. But just be patient. I get through people as fast as I can. If you have writing stuff, I know some of the classes that you take have writing with them. I also hold a writing lab on Friday nights. So, or if you see like the next week's discussion question and you want to kind of get a head start, come see me on Friday nights for writing. I don't have those hours there. It's 5 to 10 p.m. though, for writing. So are there any other questions that you guys have for me?
Yeah, I have one.
Yes.
So there's a couple models of students working with students.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bounce a couple of these ideas off of you, Christy, and off the class. This class can be challenging for many students. And the more help you get, the better it is.
Mm-hmm.
I work during the day. I'm not available during the day to help. Christy's available during the night. There are sometimes students who are more experienced and willing to help out other students. Mm-hmm. So if you feel you're in that category, just say so here. If you would like to become like a student helper, make yourself known. There, in my last class, DJ was really helpful to a lot of people. Lots of times, some of the stronger students can be very, very helpful in being just a middleman type person, because they get some things that maybe I'm not totally understanding about what you guys don't understand. So DJ was very helpful that way. So here's a couple thoughts, and that is one thing we can do. The live lecture room, this link that we just went to, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you to use outside this classroom. I don't use this link for anything else. And so if you guys want, you can work and talk among yourselves and say, hey, I'll meet you in the live lecture room at 2 p.m. And both of you can log in, or 3 of you or 4 of you or 5 of you can log in, and you can actually do your homework together in this live lecture room. So that's one thing. Now, another thing that we can do for you, and that is Christy can set up a breakout room. Mm-hmm. While she's in there. She can set up a breakout room for the DES 246 students. Mm-hmm. And so that way she can kind of segregate the fact that she, sorry, go ahead, Christy.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. I can do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, so she can, so when you come there, all those people in those classes could go down into that breakout room and do your homework together. Talking and sharing and so on. I think I'm assuming, I actually don't know for sure. Can they talk to each other down in the breakout rooms? I'm pretty sure they can.
Yeah, they can, definitely.
Okay. So that way, when you go there, you can meet other students. And here's the cool thing. If you have a question, you can jump up into Christy's room and ask the question, go back, or say you can go back up into Christy's room and say, hey, when you have a minute, come on down, we have a question for you. Anyways, my goal here is to have students work together. We're trying to simulate labs. That's essentially what we're trying to do. And this live lecture room would be a good lab. And then also when Christy's there, she can set up that breakout room. So
Also, the next time if you guys do that, connect with me on Skype, because it's a lot easier to get me a message in Skype than sending it through private chat through Blackboard, where all the moderators actually see that private chat. And that way, if you guys are working in there and you have a question, and I can answer it while another student is loading up their work, or they're getting their files open, I can shoot back and forth with you on Skype while you're working in that other room. And that way too, you could, if you think you're going to need help and you want to get in my rotation of students because I rotate students every 30 minutes, then I can just bump you in that rotation so that you don't have to wait, any longer than necessary. I'll check on that room anyway as part of the rotation, but if in case you need immediate help or something, I can automatically add you to the list again.
Oh, that's great. Now, Melissa, you said you couldn't get in the Blackboard room. You tried, and it says you will just call next time and see what can be done. Melissa, I'd like for you to try that right now. Click on that link to go into the Blackboard room and just give me some feedback as to whether or not it works for you. So, Catherine, Catherine, you don't go by Katie, do you? Maybe I'm wrong. Catherine Day. Kat, okay. Is on board. And, okay. Oh, all you got to do is, Melissa, all you got to do is go over to while you're in Zoom, you can go over and click on the announcement and then click on the link there, right there. By the way, let me while I'm at it, I'll take just a couple minutes here before we take a quick break, and then we'll jump into some Flash content. I want everybody to be good at navigating their Mac. By the way, let me ask a quick question. Does anybody have Windows PCs here? I just want to make sure. Anyone with Windows PC? Alana does. And okay, Lydell. Okay, everybody who is everybody who has a so it looks like we have about 4 people with PCs. Now, I need to make sure everybody understands who has PCs. That means you're in the web design program, and the reason why you have PCs is because part of what you learn comes from the IT department, and they teach Windows, and they teach using Visual Studio, and you learn ASP.NET, and so that's why you have the Windows. What I want to make sure is that you don't feel left out, because I use a Mac, and I just don't want you to feel like a second-rated student because we're talking Mac here. I want to be able to talk both languages, And if you want, you can share your screen, and we can make sure we get things sorted out. So, just again, hopefully, because you have a PC, I don't want you to feel left out. So, Mac, PC. Well, let me talk Mac talk just for a second here. This is something you can do on a Mac that you can't do, or at least I haven't learned how, on Windows environment, and that is creating a thing called desktops. So the reason why I explain this to you is because it's very helpful. If you don't have more than one screen, it's really helpful to learn this. By the way, Missy, let me know did it again. Sorry, Christy. Let me know if you need to go.
Okay.
Just let me know.
Okay.
All right, so this one thing I want everybody to be good at is creating desktops and being able to navigate between the desktops. Now, with 4 fingers, I put my 4 fingers just on my trackpad, and I don't push. I actually don't push. I actually just rest them on at the bottom of the trackpad, and then I just push upwards. Now, by doing that, it does this. Can everybody see that? I'm pretty sure that you see my screen now. You see all these different programs running. Across here are the desktops. Can everybody see that? Okay, now the nice thing about this is you can set up your desktops just by grabbing one of your programs and dragging it and dropping it up here on the plus sign, and that sets up a new desktop. Now, the value of having it as a desktop is, one, you can actually move these around up here, and like this. You can move them around, and when you get them in an order, you can click on them, and then you can navigate left to right. Now, I hold my control key down, and I do a right arrow, and I will move to the desktop just to the right, and there is that. And I can hold it down, move left arrow, and I can go back. And if I have other things, I can go back and forth like that. So I want everybody to be good at that, because you might not have a second monitor. And it's really helpful on the Mac to be able to put your full screen, like to put your program on one, and then to put your here, sorry about that, I forgot to hang up. And to put your class another, and frankly, you can, when we have a PDF, for example, I'll actually show you how you can do. I've got Adobe or Chrome. By the way, let me ask really quickly, what browser do you use? Type in the browser that you're using. Okay, we got a couple Chrome, lots of Firefox, Chrome, Firefox and Chrome, Safari. I just want to mention something that if you're getting into web design, it's really good to download all the major browsers. The reason I say that is it's good for you to have your website work and be tested in each of those. So that's interesting to know. So let me show you here in the Chrome what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do, it's currently maximized, meaning it's taking up the full screen. I'm going to click this one right there. Oops. And let me see here. It's down here. And moving my chat. Once it's no longer maximized, you can then grab this and drag it and let go, and it becomes a new window. I essentially went from a tab. Once again, I have to be out of full screen mode, go into I don't even know what mode this is, but I'm no longer in full screen. Anyways, once you are out of full screen, then you can grab a tab and pull it down, and it breaks away. Breaks away into its own window. Now, there's some value to that, because once it's its own window, you can then make it onto its own desktop. Simply, you can make it by its own desktop, either by dragging it up there or by maximizing it. So now I've got a window dedicated to that, another window dedicated to another session here. Going to maximize this one here. Go back to maximize. Now I can go between the windows of the different browser windows, just like I was able to go between programs. Because normally it will be just tabs, and you can't go between tabs with the control right and left arrow. You have to break it away like I did, then maximize it, and then you can set it up. The reason why this is good, because you might want to go, for example, to the, you might want to have a web page dedicated to the online website that we're using here. You might want to have one dedicated to that, and then you might want to have one that's drilled into our class, and then this would allow you to go between, for example, a web page, and instead of having to click like this, you can just navigate between them like this. Okay? All right, well, let's take a quick break. Before we go to break, does anybody have any questions that they haven't been answered, or that has just come up since what I've just shown? So you can even put Zoom in its own area. Right now I'm in a desktop that I've dedicated to Zoom, and Let's take a 10-minute break. I'll keep the recording going so that. Oh yeah, by the way, that was another thing I failed to mention. Holding the command key down and tab, it's like in Windows, you do Alt Tab. And when you do that, you can go between, just hold the command key down and hit tab really quickly. And one thing's really cool, that you can get to the point where you can toggle between two applications. If you select two, and then if you just hold command key down quickly and let go, you can actually toggle between the two really simply with this command tab. So that's another idea. All right, let's take a quick break. Anybody can stay here, and we'll take a 10-minute break. But if you have any questions, just go ahead and stay here. Yeah, Eric, you got to be really careful, because if you accidentally go to another one, it breaks up the marriage of the two screens that you're going back and forth between. So I know if you accidentally go over to another one, then all of a sudden you broke up the marriage, meaning the two that you're toggling between is no longer the two you were toggling between. Okay, now a couple people had issues about, well, Melissa, I'd like you to try going into the Blackboard. And there are a couple other people who didn't have any backup system. And those of you who don't have a backup system, I already forgot your name, there are two of you. What I'd like you to do is let's choose a backup system. Okay, I'll wait for you, Alana. Alana was one, and who was the other person who didn't have a backup system? Okay, Janice. Okay, 1 second. Joshua, what's your question? What do you mean? Could I pop on real quick? What does that mean?
Is my audio on?
Yeah.
Okay. I happen to pick up a WD My Passport for Mac, and I've been using it. You can get it at Walmart. I think it's like $70, and it's a 1 terabyte.
Interesting.
If anybody's interested.
Interesting. Yeah, I was talking to a guy yesterday. He said that they can put like 5 terabytes on these small USB nowadays. Okay, Norma, sit tight. We'll go over backup here in just a second. I like online backup because if I lose it, I don't need to worry about losing the device, number one. Number two, whatever device, whatever computer I'm logging in with, I can automatically download files to that computer, including my smartphone. That's true. Sit tight, Norma. Joshua, what did you mean? Did Joshua did you get on with, was it Joshua that was talking about the Walmart? I'm not sure. Okay, Melissa, let's really quickly, why don't we have you share your screen, and we'll troubleshoot that while we're waiting for Alana to come back. I'll stop sharing. Go ahead. Okay. All right, and Melissa, can you turn on your, yeah, I can see your screen. Can you turn on your audio, your microphone? Yeah. In fact, I could maybe just unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Melissa. Hold on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, Alana, just one second. We're going to help Melissa here. Go ahead. Christy, if you want to jump in, feel free.
You want me to show you what it was doing?
Yeah, please.
See, it just takes me right back to this screen.
All right, I'm thinking that has something to do with what's maximized. Can you hold on? You have a Mac, right? Yeah. Can you hold down the command key and then click tab really quickly? Okay. And can you do that one more time where you click on the other thing? I'm really trying to see what you're doing. Okay, desktop 3. Now, tell me in your own words, what is it doing again?
When I push my fingers up like you showed, and I try to go to another desktop so that I can get into Canvas, it takes me right back as if I'm trying to get into something I'm already in.
Okay. Go ahead and click that.
Right click.
No, just a left click. Let me see what else it does. Okay, so that's a new desktop right there. Now, you're able to run another program in this new desktop. Go ahead and do your 4 fingers and push back up again. Okay, right now you've got 3 desktops going. And my question is, what would you like to do in desktop 3 and what would you like to do in desktop 2? And I say, what do you want to do? In other words, what do you want running there?
I wanted to go into Canvas because you told me to try to get into the Blackboard.
Okay. Okay, I see your point. Okay, so I think what's happening is you're going to Safari and it's jumping over to your, because right now desktop 1 is dedicated to Safari. And so when you're in desktop 3 and you click on Safari, your Mac is saying, oh yeah, I've got that up right here. 1 second. And it goes back in. So you see my point?
Yeah.
You're trying to do it
Yes.
on a different desktop, but it's saying, hey, I got it right here. Don't worry about it. I won't take over another desktop for you. I'll do it right here on desktop 1. So why don't you go ahead and click on desktop 1. And now I want you to create a new tab in here.
How do I do that?
There's a plus sign over the far right above the word support. Now down, 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 down over the. By the way, I think you can actually do a Command T, but see, there's a plus sign on the right-hand corner, upper right corner.
Right there?
Right there. Click that. Now, what that does is that's giving you the opportunity to open up another web session. So what I want you to do is, frankly, there's the class right there. So just click on that tab where it says DES 246. Up, up, up.
Oh, this is.
Oh yeah. See, now you're going back into it because, yeah. Okay, go ahead. That's fine. it's interesting. You're getting an error message on Safari. You might want to think about.
Oh, I'm in the wrong one.
You might want to think about changing, adding another browser to your collection of browsers.
I added Chrome. It asked me to, when I try to go into Canvas and Chrome, it asked me to put in my password, but it won't accept my password. So I just keep coming back to Safari.
Yeah, you might have to reset your password. Okay, so go ahead and click on that. Let's see. There's a possibility that your Java runtime is not working because Illuminate is a, go ahead and type in your name. Illuminate is actually a Java program.
My internet is running fairly well tonight because I actually am getting sound. Usually when I get into Zoom, I have no sound. And that's what someone was telling me, use your phone and try and get sound. But for some reason, I'm getting sound tonight.
Great. Yeah, you sound great. As you can see, you can be in Zoom and you can be in Blackboard. I guess we're waiting for it to come up, or I'm wondering if there's like a, hey, Christy, is there like a, she might have like pop-ups blocked.
Well, you can just go into your downloads folder. The collab file is in the downloads folder. So if you go to your downloads folder from the Finder, and let's look at sort them by date modified.
How do you do that?
Okay, go over to your right just a little bit. You've got name and then date modified. If you click right there, click on that. Okay, and click one. I don't see it there. Okay. Well, okay. So alternately, if you, up in the upper right corner of your browser window, there is a downward arrow next to the address bar. Click on that arrow. And it should have, okay, now click on that drop-in JNLP. Yep, double click on it. And open. And it's going to want you to update your Java. Okay, and you can download Java and update it. Looks like it's going to, once it downloads that file, you can launch that file to have it install the update. It looks like it's still downloading it.
Okay.
Once that's done, then go back in and you can try and launch that drop-in.jnlp file, and it should launch and take you in there.
Once you run the JNLP,
Okay.
right now what's going on is we are upgrading your Java runtime that's installed on your computer. And the reason we have to do that is because the Illuminate is a Java program. And while I'm mentioning it, it has a very similar model to Adobe Flash. Adobe Flash, you create files that have to have a runtime program. So there's a thing called Adobe Flash Runtime. Same thing with Java here. There's a Java runtime. That's what you're installing right now. And what that means is the programs are created and they sit on a server until you download them. And when they download, they then are processed by the runtime program. So go ahead and install that. Double click on that and install that Java runtime program. That will upgrade you.
As a
Now,
as a
on my,
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I was going to say on my PC, on my old laptop, it will just tell me when something needs updated. This thing never tells me anything needs updated. Do I have to go check it myself somewhere?
Yeah, it was interesting how we figured out that it needed updating because you had to click on the JNLP and then you saw it. Go ahead and click on that to answer your question. Normally it does tell you, but see that blue window over to the upper left? You accidentally clicked away. Click on that and then double click on that. Click install, and this will type in your password, and this will install the Java Runtime program. So as I was mentioning, one thing about Adobe Flash is that it too has a similar model to Java. Okay, now let's go back to your download folder and double click on that JNLP file. You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you.
And now that's the program that's, I think, going to download the Colab file that Christy was talking about.
Yeah, this looks like it's sometimes it downloads the JNLP file, sometimes it downloads a collab file. If it's downloading a collab file and you can't get in, or if you come in and you try and screen share and your original file that you downloaded was a collab file, try changing that extension to .jnlp, and that will fix it for you if you're having trouble with screen sharing. Go ahead. I learned that last week.
I'll bet you it's working. Yep, that's a
Yep.
good sign right there.
Didn't hit OK.
Ah,
Yay.
yay. Yay. So this mod, when I get lost, I can go get help.
Yes. Come see me.
I will. Last mod, I was so lost.
And this mod, I'm going to make special time to go through the lessons as you guys do. So the homework and all that, I'm going to try and get it done before my shift starts on Wednesday, and so that I'm ready for you guys. And so that I've gone through everything so that I can maybe help troubleshoot a little bit better.
Thank you both very much.
You bet. Okay, you're up and running. So go ahead and let's see, I'll stop sharing your screen. Okay. Now I think our 10 minutes is over, but what I want to do is really quickly talk to the folks who don't have a backup system. Okay, Anne Marie asked the question, should we have Flash or Java? And the answer is, Anne Marie, you need to have both, really, because Java runtime is necessary to be able to get into Illuminate. Let me see, I gotta share my screen, one sec. So to answer your question, you need to have the you need to have both Flash for Flash programs, and it's free. The runtime is free, and then Java for Java programs. Okay, so now let's talk about the people who don't have a backup system. And as I mentioned in my original announcement email to you, there's lots of different options for you to have a backup. Some cost money, others don't. And here in the original email that I sent out, in the announcement, it says come down here, and there's lots of different options. You can use Apple iCloud, you can use Google Drive, Microsoft SkyDrive, or Dropbox. Even Amazon now has free, like 5 free gigabytes. So you just need to choose one of those. I'll quickly show you a couple of them. I use Dropbox, and what that ends up doing is that it allows me to create a folder on my hard drive that's called Dropbox, and any file that I put in these folders is automatically backed up to their servers, and I don't have to do anything other than drag and drop the file or the folder in this area. So I ended up just building out all my work in the Dropbox folder, and as you can see, you know, I've got all these classes that I've taught over the years, and these are subfolders here. I hope everybody knows how to do different views here. I like this view because you can see all the different subfolders. Anyways, so this is Dropbox. It will automatically, so I have a big folder structure. See, these are all subfolders at the top level, and one of them is work, and then I've got this here, and this is my day job, and then I've got classes breakdown. So it's really kind of complex of how I got all my folders all set up. You don't have to be this complex. You might just, at the very top, you can, for that matter, you can even just create one folder for each of your classes and drop it in the Dropbox folder, and it will automatically back up. Now, if you lose your computer, you'll have the backup. Or if your computer goes down, your hard drive goes down, something like that, you've got the backup. It's always going to be there. Number one. Number two, if you have another computer, let's say you're on vacation, you think, oh man, I've got all my files on my home computer. Well, and you go to your friend, you say, hey, can I log in your computer? Well, the fact is, you can just download Dropbox to their computer and bring those files to their computer, or better yet, you can just go to the Dropbox website, log in, and there you have all your files right there, as if it's like a remote virtual drive. So you don't even have to download Dropbox into your friend's computer, because you just through the browser, you can access all your files. And likewise, on a cell phone, I can just with my cell phone, I can install Dropbox on my cell phone, and then I can access all these through the Dropbox application. So that's how Dropbox works. The others work very similarly. You might already know about Google. Google has its own Google Docs. Google Docs is also virtual. It's free. They also have a similar thing with Dropbox, where you can download a client and save things into a folder. So you can save all sorts of documents in Dropbox. Excuse me, Google Docs. This is also free. iCloud. I don't use iCloud for saving files, but that's another option. So you just need to choose one of those. And those are all the online ones. We'd already mentioned that you can do that, or you can use like a thumb drive. Okay. So anybody who isn't using a backup system, do you have any questions before we go on? Google Drive is just a free online drive that will save your files. If you have a Gmail account, they'll give you like 5. Neat thing about Google Drive is that you can create folders here. You can right-click on the documents that are on your Google Drive. There's a Google application that you can download and install. I don't think I have it. This is very similar to Dropbox. You can download, install that, and that's a local client program that would allow me to replicate to. I'm installing it to show you right now. that would replicate my Google Drive to my local drive in the same way I've done that with free Dropbox. And then you would just run it Google Drive. Just showing you how this one would work. You'd log in to your Gmail account. And it too would have the same thing that Google Drive, Dropbox has. So now it's right here. And then it's already starting to replicate all my files to my local drive. All these files are being downloaded automatically and onto my Google Drive. But they're also on the Google Drive. So they're on the server and now they're being downloaded to my local drive. So that's an option. iCloud and so on. Anyways, let's move on. Does anybody have any questions who doesn't have a backup system in place? Okay, great. Let's move on. Everybody has to have a backup system. Okay? All those were free, by the way. 5 megs free. Okay, good. Let's move on. Now, we've gone through announcements. Everybody should check out the syllabus. I'll update that with information on our new textbook. This is the old textbook here. This is all the same information. I'll update the syllabus for you. And then I think I'll stop my video. Let's see. Oops. Make sure you introduce yourself. Readings and tools, I'll update that because right now it's pointing to the old textbook, and I'll get rid of that. Lots of folks have introduced themselves. And let's talk about this discussion forum before we bring up Adobe app, the Adobe Flash app. Here's a discussion question: Adobe Flash versus Adobe Illustrator versus Adobe Photoshop. And now we're going to pretend like you're an art director working for Blizzard, and there's a big debate in the company as to what program to use for doing graphics: Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or Flash. And so what this question is attempting to do is to begin to have you starting to think about how to use multiple graphical programs in doing your work. Your task is research these 3 programs, give the pros and cons for each. You might even say, let's use all 3, or let's just use one. Include the opinion of one or more professional desires, agree or disagree. So does anybody have any questions or any ideas already about this question? Does everybody realize you can use Adobe Flash to do drawing? You don't yet know that because you're just starting. I realize that. Yeah, you can use Adobe Flash to do some drawing, some simple drawing. We'll start work. I'll bring it up here in just a second. You'll see that. Okay, no worries. All right, let's now, we'll bring up Adobe Flash, and this assignment here, I'll update this with a different assignment, and I'll update the assessment also that's here. So I'll work on that tonight so that we have the latest content for those two things. All right, I want everybody to bring up Adobe Flash. Now, I've already brought it up, but for those of you who haven't yet brought it up, we're just going to be talking about Adobe Flash and Creative Cloud. So, different ways to bring up Adobe Flash. You can hold down the command, and this is on a Mac. I'll talk about Windows in a second. You can do command, hold down the command key, hit space, type in FLASH. Command space, and there it is right there. Another thing, you can bring up your Finder, and right up here, type in FLASH, and click. Let's do Adobe Flash. Adobe Flash. Adobe Flash. Keep getting all these ActionScript files. Let's see. Oh, and click on Applications. All right. I'm supposed to see it right here. Maybe it's because I've got it sorted the way I've got it sorted. I changed to types, kind. And there it is. Okay, I had it sorted by name. So there it is, Adobe Flash right there. Okay, and then you can go into just the Adobe, the applications folder, and come down here to Adobe Flash CC 2014, and there it is right there. So that's another way. And then also, once you have it running, then you can anchor it. So choose one of those different ways to bring up Adobe Flash. I want everybody to run Adobe Flash right now. Okay. See. Another one is to use the Launchpad. And find it here. There it is right there. And run it off the Launchpad. I'm looking to turn on my Launchpad. I had it turned off. So I just tied it to Command Option L to bring up my Launchpad. Okay, so let's check in. Does anybody have a problem? Oh yeah, okay. Now, if you're on Windows, you click Start Run, or just okay, Francis, can you go ahead and share your, if you don't mind, Francis, I'd like you to share your screen just because I want to be able to have that recorded where someone's running Windows, Flash from their Windows All right. Did you just click the start menu? Justin, no, we're upgrading to CC. Check the announcements and there's instructions on how to download CC. Yeah, I can see it, Francis. What's that down the lower left, those, that thing? What do you call that? Is that the Windows menu? Okay. Did you just click on the Windows menu and did you have the option there? Okay, Barbara, I saw your message there. If you'd like, I can help you out. When you clicked on that Windows menu, what do you click on next right here? Hold on, I got things in the way. So how did you go from here to Adobe Flash? Can you turn on your microphone really quick?
Do I have to?
Yes. So how did you run it from that Windows menu?
I have a button on my keyboard to do the same thing, but you can just click on it. And it goes from there, and then you click on this again, and it goes right to that.
Okay. Okay, Chrissy, thank you. Okay. That's great. So is there anybody who, thanks very much, Chrissy, it's great to have you here. Is there anybody here who does not have Flash running? Anne Marie, are you downloading CC? Is that up? Is that what you're saying? Okay, Lydell, I don't understand why you have a trial version. Maybe you have to re-download it because maybe our link isn't the trial version, and you may have to re-download it. I don't think there's a code. Is there a code? Did everybody type in a code? If you download it from the link in the announcement, I think you're just going to be able to install it with no code, and then it won't be a trial version.
No, I hit it, but I won't.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Adobe Flash workspace now. All right, this is a splash screen. If you don't want that to come up, you can just click right here to don't show it again, and then that won't come up when you go back in. Now, the toolbar, the menu bar across the top, is available for you when you are navigating. Over here, this is the which workspace you're in. So click here, and if you're in the Essentials, it shows this, but you can change to Classic. And what that does is it rearranges the panels. It's the same program, but it just gives you a different view in here. Essentials is what it defaults to when it starts out. And then the classic is one that I like, frankly. Now, when you look at the interface of Flash, one big thing that's different between programs, Adobe Flash, and the other drawing programs is the element of time. Now, when you create in Adobe Photoshop a drawing, you don't have the element of time. It's just the one file. Now, obviously, if you've ever done some of those animated GIFs, there you can simulate the concept of time where you have multiple images put together, and you can create those in Photoshop. But typically, just the one drawing. Likewise, Adobe Illustrator, just the one drawing. And so, but with Flash, you now introduce not only the drawing capability, but now the idea of drawing multiple things. That's what this is here, the timeline. And the timeline is really very similar. I would use the analogy of a deck of cards. And frankly, I wouldn't say necessarily a deck of cards. Let me change that analogy to a deck of cards that shows a simulation. Have you ever seen somebody take paper and just go like that, and you can watch this simulation of like a cartoon take place? Has anybody seen that type of thing where each card shows the image doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and you like have a stick man who's like shooting a basket, and you just flick it like that, and you're watching it. Does everybody know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that? Flip book. Yeah. Okay. Think of a flip book. When you think of Flash, think of a flip book, because the concept is like identical. In fact, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think I have a link to a flip book that I can show you what I'm talking about in my Dropbox. Let me make sure. Let's see, where did I put that link? I have a link to a YouTube video. It's a flip book. I'm just going to go find it. If you don't know what a flip book is, let's go to a YouTube flip book video just so you get the concept here. Okay, this is the concept of a flip book. In fact, I'll post this picture. See, each of the images is the next frame. It's like a cartoon, frame by frame by frame by frame. Flash, this is how Flash works. You either draw each image like they've done, or you'll learn a concept called tweening. And that's where you do the first image of the sequence and then the last image. And Adobe Flash will do the in-between. That's why they call it tweening between the two. Okay, let me give you another example of a flip book type animation. So you need to understand this is very similar to what Flash does. Okay. So when you have your Adobe Flash on your screen, you need to think of this like your flip book. Each different line here is comparable to a different card of your flip book. And so here we would have like 105 cards. And I would flip through the 105 cards and you'd see it. But this is kind of like an electronic flip book because each different one would be either, like I said before, either a different drawing, or I could do like the first one and the 100th one, and it would be the first one and the 100th one, and it would tween between the two. Kind of like a ball bouncing from here to here. You know, it could do the tweening of all those. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we're not yet going to show you how to do the tweening, but it has that ability. All right, is anybody lost? Does everybody get the concept so far? The parallel between a flip book and a flash. Yeah, tweening definitely does have that ability for you to save a lot. You can do a bouncing ball. In fact, you can do something like this. You draw the ball in frame 1 here, and in frame 5, you put it right here. And then in frame 10, you put it up here. And then in frame 15, you put it down here. And then frame 20, you put it up here. And then you run your animation, and it will tween between. You'll go boom, 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 boom. So it's kind of a computerized way to create a cartoon. You just put the places where it needs to be at what point, you know, the circle, or you can start a circle small in frame 1, and then in frame 10, you can draw the circle like this. And you say, go ahead. And it goes frame 1, and it goes, and frame 10. It fills in the gap. That's what the tweening does. So these are some of the ideas of animation. All right. So each of these are cards. Now let's talk about what you can create in Adobe Flash. If you click File and New, these are the general things that can be created. Now, everybody has heard probably that Adobe Flash is less popular than it used to be. In fact, I want to show you something. If you go to Indeed.com and type in fact, go to Indeed.com, come down here at the bottom, click Trends, and type in Flash, Adobe Flash, and click Find Trends. You see that Adobe Flash was most popular back between January 2010 and January 2011. And then it fell off in its popularity, and now it's kind of less popular. What this is measuring is how many job descriptions are looking for the skill of Adobe Flash. So Steve Jobs of Apple really damaged the reputation of Adobe Flash. And right about this time, is when Steve Jobs says, yeah, we're not going to put the Flash runtime on our cell phone. It's just big and so on. Anyways, everybody believed him. And so it was at this point that there was a big transition to HTML5. So if you map the two, you can see HTML5 started off, this is right when Steve Jobs said what he said, and then it just took off. Look at that. You can see that HTML5 has grown in its popularity relative to Adobe Flash. You can see it's just extremely popular. Learning HTML5 is what is now the new Adobe Flash, the new multimedia platform is just a browser now, because browsers can do HTML5 and they can do CSS3 and they can do JavaScript. And by being able to do those three things, a browser can pretty much do what Adobe Flash is good at doing, which is interaction with the action script, which is animation and so on. But it's not perfectly as good as, because frankly, Adobe Flash can do things that this combination of three things can't do. That's why we still are teaching Adobe Flash, because there's things you can do in Adobe Flash you still can't do well in the HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript. So now if you look for resumes, there's still 24,000 jobs. Oh, I meant to, sorry, that was resumes. So how many jobs are there still for Adobe Flash? Well, right there, typing it in like that, it's 512 out there. And if you type it like that, we get 2,136. But comparatively, HTML5, there's 17,000 jobs out there for learning that. Now, last mod I taught HTML and HTML5 and APP 242. And we're not yet going to just eliminate Adobe Flash yet. There's a new program that's called Adobe Edge, which is designed to capture what people who are leaving Adobe Flash and getting into HTML5 and CSS3, Adobe Edge is going to do that. But Adobe Edge still isn't yet totally being used out there as much as Adobe Flash. Adobe Flash is more popular than Adobe Edge. So we're not yet teaching you Adobe Edge. So we're having to see, there's only 35 jobs on this. So we're having to deal with all these technologies that are coming down, and we're trying to give you the latest. So right now we're giving you Adobe Flash on CC, which is the latest version of that. And we're not yet jumping you into Adobe Edge. Adobe Edge is something that you can have on your computer, but and it does animation. It actually does some of the things. If you look at, you ask yourself, well, what is this Adobe Edge? It's kind of the future, but it's still a couple years off before we, maybe not that far. Actually, some of the residential colleges are for our school are already teaching that, but online we're still a ways from jumping into Adobe Edge. If you read about Adobe Edge on Wikipedia, you'll read that Adobe Edge was created by Adobe to succeed the Flash platform, which means to come after. So it's not ready yet. Adobe Flash still is busy, So does anybody have any questions about any of this? Some people are saying, well, why aren't you teaching us Adobe Flash? Well, it's because Adobe Flash hasn't yet really hit the market. And it just isn't there. There's still value in Adobe Flash. Yeah. So we're focusing on Flash. this mod. I think that you have Edge, Brandon. Command space, let's see if command space Adobe Edge. Oops, something happened there. Let me do that again, command space. Adobe Edge. Gotta spell it correctly. Does anybody else have it? I don't see it yet in mine. Let's see, to download, I think we need to do the Creative Cloud installer. If you want to get access to Adobe Edge, I think this is how you do it. It's downloadable. What I did is I did command space, I typed in Creative Cloud installer, and I think that's how you'll be able to access Adobe Edge. But anyways, that's actually a tangent because we're not going to be focusing on that. Anyways, I'm going to just move on. Okay. Because it's not coming up for me. It's again, we're not going to do that in the class, but it seems like there's some curiosity for it. Yeah, it's not coming up, the installer for me. All right, so back to Adobe Flash. So here when you do File, File New, you've got HTML5 Canvas. And now that is the corresponding concept in HTML for what we're creating in Adobe Flash. So I'm just going to type this ActionScript 3.0. So everybody do that. Click File, New, ActionScript 3.0. Click OK. And using your drawing tools over here, what I want you to do, you're in frame 1. So right now we're looking at card 1. Okay. So why don't you draw and create a little flip book? So now you can do a flip book that does images, or you can do a flip book that it does words. I'm going to click on text. Here's the drawing tools, and right now we're working on the picture of frame 1, the card, the first card, if you will. And I'm just going to play around here. Now that's the lasso. I meant to do drawing tool here. Okay, so I'm just using drawing tool. This is card number 1. Okay. Let's click on card number 5. and you can do a right click and do insert frame. And essentially what I've done is I've jumped over to frame 5, and this is still here because it's left over from frame 1. And what I can do is using my selector, I can grab it and move it up here. So technically, I now have a new frame 5. This is card number 5. Card number 1, if you click on the card number 1, oh, I actually just moved both. Make sure I got this. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna back up one sec. I don't think I did the keyframe. What you can do, I forgot to specify the create motion motion tween. So let me do that again. Frame 1, create there. Let's go frame 5, right click and insert keyframe. And then I do a right click and then create motion tween. And yeah, create them to symbols. So on frame 5, select, grab that, move it up there. This time it should work, okay? It went really fast. So I'm going to slow it down. Instead of 24 frames per second, I'm going to go 1 frame per second. Hit enter and go back here, hit enter and do the motion tween. So everybody, I want you to do this. You can do a with a period. In fact, let me do this. With a period, you can do one at a time. Let's just do that because that tween didn't work like I thought. Okay, card number 1. Right click, insert frame. This time I'm going to drag it to here. It's the keyframe, I think, that I am seeing a little bit different between the CS6 and the CS6 and the CC right away. Because each time you have a keyframe, it's the location of a new object on the screen. So right click, insert keyframe. That's my wife going to be picking me up. Sorry about that. My cell phone is attached to my computer. I click insert keyframe. So let's go back here to frame 1. Frame 2, drag it, move it here. Frame 3, I'm doing a period there. Drag it, move it here. Frame 4, drag it, move here. Frame 5, drag it, move here. And then I run it by hitting a return key. And I slow it down to 1 frame per second. Hit play. Go back to the beginning, hit play. 1, 1, 1, 1. Let's do it again. Hit play. It's 1 frame per second. Normally it's 24 frames per second, so that's why I slowed it down. So we've got 5 cards essentially, and I didn't do the tweening there. Let me see if I can do the tweening this time. Insert keyframe. Right click, create motion tween. I'm gonna do a shape tween. And frame, this frame here. I think I'll just do a motion tween. They have to be objects. See these dots here are where it's going to anticipate being moved. The converting it to a symbol makes it so that you can animate it. The fact that it's got this large square, this is the center of, this is the reference point of that symbol. And normally it, it would be right at the, so this is the point that's going to be animated. So when you go from right to left, it will trace the path of this individual circle, but I'm going to just keep it simple and not get into tweens and just focus on the cards. So just 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards. We won't get into tweening just now because I can see that the CC is different than the CS6 lift. Okay, let's do this. It's been 2 hours. I need to call it a night. What I'll do is I'll upload this recording and I'll update the assessment and the assignment for our CC. No, Anne-Marie, each frame is a different paper of the flip book. So frame 1 is the first card. Frame 2 is the second card. Frame 3 is the third card. Frame 4 is the fourth card. And we won't get into tweening tonight because I gotta figure out what's changed. We just decided to do CC today, and I've got to see what's happened on the interface. All right. So, any more questions before we call it a night? All right. For those of you who are good, have a good night. Thank you very much for attending. And if you have a question, just stay after. If you have a question, just stay. Brandon, I'll post that later tonight. We're going to do an assessment, and we're going to do the discussion question. I'm going to specify an assignment, and then also I'll update the assessment. Good night, everybody. Yeah, don't do the assessment yet because that's on CS6. You can call me Chip. It's fine. If you don't mind. If you need to be more formal, you can call me Instructor Brown, possibly. I'll be going. I'll be writing up the assignment tonight. Catherine, why don't you share your screen, and I'll figure that out. Yeah, just do the discussion. That won't change. And can you turn on your microphone? And I think you go by Cat. You go by Cat. That's fine, Alana.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but every time I try to switch, like I'll go to Flash, and it was flipping me back, and then I go to Zoom, and so it was like I could not follow you, and just like I did something and slid the screen across, or I don't know, it jumped me to another desktop, or it did something.
All right, take your 4 fingers to the
And
bottom of your trackpad, push up.
right.
Okay, so you've got 3, no, actually just 2 desktops going. So which one do you want to go into?
This is the one I want to be on.
Go ahead and click on that.
Okay. Right. And then when I try to watch the Zoom, oh, well, is it? Okay, well, hopefully it,
Here's what you can do. Go ahead, do your 4-finger thing again.
okay. All right,
Okay, now see your Zoom dialog there in the upper right. Grab that and drag it to the very top upper right corner. The Zoom, no, that one, yeah, right there. Drag upper right corner until the plus sign appears. Right,
okay. Okay,
and let go right there on that plus sign. Up, over the far right. See that little thing that popped out in the right? Right there. Let it go
Okay.
right there.
okay. Oh,
Okay, so now what you can do is you can dedicate that desktop 2 thing to your Zoom. So go ahead and click on that.
okay,
And so if you have to go into Zoom, you can do that. Now, if you do the control, yeah, now do control left arrow. And
control left arrow,
yeah, it should
Okay.
take you to the flash.
okay, or command left,
I do control left.
okay.
Hold the control key down, hit your left arrow. Does that work?
That's what it did when I hit command L, command the little.
Now, are you touching command or are you touching the control key? Control is CONTROL.
Oh, duh, I'm sorry.
Now, do control and then do the left
Okay.
arrow.
All right. Okay, I'm hitting it, but it's not doing anything.
You've got the control key down, CONTROL.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. All right. And close all this
There you go.
out.
That seems to be working, maybe.
And then control left again. But, okay, now if I wanted it, because like when I turned my mirroring off so that I could, I was trying to watch one thing on one screen and follow, and then it's like I couldn't I couldn't do both and still like have the flash up and as well as be following you at the same time. So it had me all goofed up. So I was like, ugh.
Now, do you have
And I,
you have just one screen, correct?
I've got a smart TV that I use as my second screen.
Okay. And because you can set it up so that I'm on that second screen, you can have your Zoom session on that second screen, and you could be working on your main screen.
That's what I would like to be able to do.
All right.
And
So do your four-finger push again.
okay.
All right. And now, is your other screen set connected right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you see anything on that screen? Oh, you're mirroring, right?
Well, right now I have both. It's coming on both of them now.
That's because you're mirrored. Now,
Right.
if you want to see two different things, you cannot mirror. You got
Right.
to turn off mirroring. And
Uh-huh.
when you do that, then it'll put you in the position to be able to share on both screens.
Right. And how? Okay. So I've got to get to where I can get back up to the top of my screen again.
Yeah. Click on any window and then go
Okay.
back into System Preferences and then turn off mirroring.
Okay. Well, I can just go right here and turn it off. And then, like, and then I pull my mouse down in my right-hand corner, right? And it brings it to, whoops, sorry. That happens a lot. Come on. All right. Like
Yeah.
this flash. See, I had that here, and I was trying to. You had said to go to File New, and I was trying to follow you and figure out which one we were on, but then I just bring. You just drag the mouse down in the bottom right-hand corner, right? And it should switch screens.
Well, I don't know if you've got that set up to drag down the lower right corner. I do a control left and right arrow to go between my screens.
Oh, okay. You can just go control left or right.
Yeah, but frankly, that's only if I have one screen. If you want to go, if you set it up so that you've got another computer monitor set up, you don't have to do control right and left arrow. That's what I do when I'm just on a single screen. But if you have two physical screens, then you can literally just move your mouse over to the other screen and click there. It's kind of like an extension of your first screen.
All right.
All right. Well,
Also swipe your four fingers from left to right on the trackpad, and it switches the desktops.
yeah, that's a good point. It's like the control right and left arrow. Instead of going to the bottom, going to the top, you just take 4 and swish to the left or right, and that also does the same thing.
Oh, so like, well, that didn't quite do it. You said take 4 and go to the left or right?
Yeah, again, you've got two screens, so you don't really have to see, the reason why I tell people how to do it with the desktops is they don't have two physical screens.
Right.
So they have to kind of like virtually go between screen to screen. But because you have two screens, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Let's do this. I'm going to pause for a second and you play with that.
All
And
right.
then, is there somebody else who wants to share their screen?
I figured out the tween.
Oh, good. All right. Why don't you go ahead and share your screen?
Okay, just waiting for the ability.
Okay.
Okay, Norma, 1 second. We'll get to you in a second. Oh, I've got to go get plugged in. I'm down to 1%. Hold on. There you go. Good job.
I even have the ball tumbling.
Yeah. You did the rotation on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Good job.
I was trying to remember what I did for the other one, and it just hit me after I closed the classroom, and I wanted to try it out before I logged back in.
Yeah. So each of those, the dots is really like a card that somebody has drawn on, whereas the ones in between the dots are ones that the tween takes place. So once again, there's 50 cards in this flip book. Technically 50 cards. But the ones between 1 and 5 are automatically done by the computer. And number 5 there would be one that you would place the ball. Why don't you click on frame 5? So that's where the ball or the rock is, or whatever it is, in frame 5. Go ahead and click on frame 10, and it shows in the simulation where it would be. But you only had to create the one in frame 10, frame 15, frame 20, frame 25. Those are the ones that you manually created, and the other ones get automatically filled in by Flash.
I even did the little smush animation here.
Good for you. You're gonna be the. Oh yeah, you created symbols on of each of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. You have to create a symbol for the tweens.
Each. Yeah.
Each keyframe, you have to make a new symbol.
And convert that into
Yes.
symbol. Yeah, that was the step that changed on CS6.
But if you elect for the computer not to remind you of it, it does it automatically.
Okay. That's good find.
So yes, this is my little bouncy rock.
Falls off the ledge there.
I was thinking about slanting it a little bit, give it a little bit more believability, but
Yeah.
it was just a little quickie, I guess.
Yeah. Good job, Lyle.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for sharing.
Anything I can do to help, just ask.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to share the screen or might have a question?
There was a question that says how to make the symbols. It's just right click and it says at the bottom, convert to symbols.
Yeah. Or the F8 key.
So why does it stop on 50?
Because that's all that he created. You know?
I mean, mine stopped on 52. Also.
Who's talking? Is that Melissa?
Yes.
Why don't you share your screen?
Okay. See, I kept trying to go on across here and it wouldn't go any further. It put up this red marker.
Yeah, click on 55. frame 55, and then do a right click, insert.
I have to insert a frame.
Yeah. If you want to do a keyframe where you're going to put an object and convert it to a symbol, then you should insert a keyframe. But so that's all you do.
Okay.
To extend your card. So so this is like a flip book. Now you've got like 57 cards to it, and it becomes a cartoon or an animation by the fact that each one's generated.
Okay.
All right, I need to probably call it a night. Is anybody else having questions before we call it a night? Brandon, regarding last mod, why don't you call me on my cell phone so we can talk privately?
If you don't mind, I'd show you something right quick just to find out. How do I put this in every one? Are you there?
I don't know if he logged off or not.
He's still on there.
Yeah, he's still on there.
Sorry
I
about
think-
that. I accidentally clicked my mute button. Go ahead.
I just want to know how I can put these two objects on every frame in the same spot.
Just put them on frame one, and
I
they'll-
did that and it
they'll-
didn't work.
they should stay there. Well, let's see. Oh, let's see.
I
Wait
did
a
two
minute.
separate.
Yeah, frame one. Let's see. That's called like duplicate card function from the previous. What you can do, go back to frame one, and where did you want them in frame one?
Right here.
Okay.
This is frame one, yeah.
All right. Select them. Can you bring up your tool? Let's see. Upper right, you can change that. Yeah, go ahead and select key. And just so you can select both objects, like using a square.
They are selected.
All right, now copy them.
Uh-huh.
And now click on card number 2 and paste.
It moved it to a different spot. I tried that once before.
Wonder why it's moving to a different place. Go to frame 3 just for the heck of it. Paste it again. I wonder what might be going on. Let's go back to frame 1. Why don't you go ahead and press the play key and let's see what it looks like. Do it one more time. Let's see. I think it's doing a tween. I think that the basketball hoop is going through a tween.
You did say to use this right here.
To create new objects. I think that the basketball hoop is experiencing its own tween of a motion tween, and you're wanting just the ball to be the thing that's tweened for the motion, and you want the basketball hoop to stay static between.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to create there.
Mhm.
Let's see the. See, maybe if you insert another layer, you actually need layers for each of these objects. One will be a layer for the ball, another will be a layer for the basketball hoop, and right now you're trying to do both on one layer. The cool thing about layers is it's like layers like in a regular drawing, and on the layers, on each card, some things can be going through their own animation, while other things are like static. So add a new layer underneath layer 1 there. Enter a new layer in your timeline. Over to the left. Down,
okay.
down. No, down, over left, right there. New layer. Now on that new layer, make that the layer where you put your hoop. And you can turn off layers with the eye. See the eyeball up there? And you can turn off by clicking below. You can see what's on each layer. You can turn them off, so you can know what's on what layer, and then you can lock them too if you want. So go ahead and turn off layer 1 and layer 2. With there you go. And then you can work on each layer separately. Like layer 3 could be the basketball hoop, and then layer 2 could become the animation of the ball. Yeah. Let's turn off layer 2 and 3 for a second, and turn on layer 1. Okay, go ahead and delete or copy and cut the hoop. Let's just work on the hoop. Okay, cut it. Did you do a cut? Yeah. Okay, now turn off layer 1. And turn on layer 3 and do a Command V, paste it.
Oh, wait. Okay. And it's moved it again.
All right, well, this time just grab it and move it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So right now, that hoop is only going to appear on the first card. Because there's just one black dot, and it's going to turn off on cards 2, 3, 4, and 5.
It looks like it's on all of them.
Oh yeah, it looks like it is there. Okay, go ahead and press play, and let's see. It's staying there. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so now we've got the ball. Now turn on your other, and now run your animation. Okay, looks like we got something happening. I think, yeah. Why don't you turn off your layer 3 for a second? I think that there might be an extra. Turn off layer 3 and then step through your. You can use a comma and a period. The comma goes left, period goes right.
No, I just got rid of them.
Oh, you've already gotten rid of it?
Oh yeah, there was two, and I
Oh. Okay, are you good for now?
think so. I just have to create a new layer for
Each object that needs to do something different. And
okay.
the layers are then superimposed each card. It's kind of like, each card can have multiple layers, and each object, if it goes through a different animation, it needs to be on its own card. So you have a symbol per layer, and the symbol can, if it doesn't animate, it doesn't have to be a symbol. But yours is animated, so it has to be a symbol. And it's a symbol when there's a dot in the middle of it.
That right there.
Yeah, that's a symbol. And you're doing great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And put that one right down here.
Good job.
Oh,
Excellent.
thank you.
That's very advanced for our course.
Give me a perfect score right now.
Yeah, you got it, man. Okay, I need to start. I have to download the recording. I got to upload it still. So, are you good?
Yeah, you do that so I can download it later.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions before we call it a night? Good job, by the way, Brandon and Lydell. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Everyone be safe. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. See you Thursday night.
All right, you have a good evening too.
And Kim Cutting, you make the symbols by doing a right click on the object and do convert to symbol. You only have to do that if you need to animate it using a tween. If you don't, kind of like the basketball hoop that Brandon had, that doesn't need to be a symbol because it didn't move. Does that answer your question, Kim? Okay, good. Any more? Good night.
I think that'll do it. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Brandon. Good night, everybody. Just do the discussion post. Yep. Okay. Good night. Take care.